High tech? No, low tech always. Technically high, yes. Kinky Streets. Thank you for coming over. And if you guys didn't know, Kinky keeps me in the loop about a lot of things that I need to know. Oh my God. Shut the front door. It won't flip. It won't flip, but here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Hell has frozen over. There are pumpkin spice peaks. Thank you, Andrea. Now my mouth is watering. And I can't make that noise. I can't make that noise. That's mouth watering noise. There you go, Martha. When Beto legalizes in Texas, I'm going to visit Texas. And I'm going to bring a whole bunch of stuff and give it to everybody. You'll send me some? Oh. I eat peeps once a year. Yep, me too. That's it, Easter time. But they're pumpkin. Oh my God. Allie, I didn't hydrate yet, honey. What the hell? Tell me. Tenacious Tea, I don't know you guys. Had a business making edibles. That's awesome, man. Yeah. We've been at it for, probably the better part of about 17 years. Perfecting recipes and doses, just getting it right. Pandemonium is a scientist and a chef. I will go with you. All right, partners. If you take vitamins on hump day, they are humpity dumpty. All right, everybody in the audience, Chatland, without further ado, my special guest has arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you the one, the only, retired Major Richard Ojeda.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, honey?
I'm good. I just got off the Rick Smith show. It's been going nonstop. It always does.
I appreciate you coming up so much and just, taking the time to give a rat's ass about, your brethren, our vets, and the battle that you've gone through your own self, with your own personal experience, and the the way you fought for cannabis is amazing to me, Major. It's amazing, and I haven't had the chance to tell you that yet, but I am just so proud of you on so many levels. It's not even funny. Thank you, sir. Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate that, and I will tell you that, it's really disturbing because, the legislators in West Virginia are still doing everything in their power to try and harm the bill and make it to where it's almost impossible to help the people.
Right. I heard you mention that the other day, and that was one of the things that I wanted to ask.
I left West Virginia because it's the state leadership is just garbage. But yeah. At the end of the day, I can always take comfort. I fought for cannabis and made West Virginia the 29th state when everybody told me to not even try, that I would make enemies. And I don't give two shits about making enemies. That don't bother me.
No, me either.
At the end of the day, it's about taking care of veterans. And, one of my last speeches that I gave before my bill was passed was I held up 13 dog tags of soldiers that didn't come home. And I said that, cannabis can't help these soldiers, but cannabis can help the people that see their faces when they try to go to sleep at night. Yeah. And I will tell you that, I am still believing that, if we're going to get on the right track, we need to have cannabis given to us from the Veterans Administration.
Yes.
I'm sick and tired of the friggin' meds that I friggin' have to take every day and every night.
Major, I know.
And oh, by the way, they target our liver. Now I've been diagnosed with fatty liver. You know, I go to the gym every single day, you know, and I'm telling you, it's the meds. And when you look at my meds I take, my wife looks up all my meds and says, this one here attacks your liver. This one here attacks your kidneys.
Yep.
And that's what it is.
Your stomach, your lungs, your heart, your joints, all of these medications that they give you for the things that both of us suffer from. Yeah. We have similar experiences, except I didn't spend 24 years in the military.
Okay. That's okay. You know, it don't take 24 years. You know, well, I will tell you, I could say that I could think about all of my post-traumatic stress would probably come from maybe 5 to 7 events. That's it, out of 24 years.
Yep. I understand that completely. You know, you and I both share the blessing of a TBI because our heads were stoven in by people who didn't agree what we were talking about. Okay, and that's just ridiculous for somebody to lay hands on you because they disagree with your thinking and your mind. Who has that power? You know.
Well, you know what bothered me the most about that is that, look, you know, I mean, the guy weighed me by over 100 pounds, and you know he didn't fight me. He asked me for a bumper sticker. And when I kneeled down to put a bumper sticker on his car, he struck me in the back of the head with the pipe and then rolled.
Oh, it's okay. Major freezes up every little bit once in a while. He'll be all right. He'll be right back. If you follow the Major. Yeah, you're here.
Okay, look, I should have been killed 5 times in Iraq. I mean, I had 2 mortar rounds land within 5 feet of me, and both of them were duds. I was in an IED, a VBIED. I was in an ambush. You know, I was almost captured in Afghanistan. So, you know, I mean, there's reasons. And then I come home to the community that I grew up in and almost lose my life on a creek bank by some sack of shit, you know, who was doing it for some other asshole because they knew I was going to win my Senate race. That was it.
They saw you doing something good for the people and they stopped you right in your fucking tracks. Because that's what they do, Major.
Yeah, they have their hands in the cookie jar.
They obstruct every fucking thing we want to do for what's good for the people, what's good for our vets, what's good for America.
Yeah, well, you know what? And that's the thing is, you know, that's what kills me is the Republicans always claim to love the veterans. And the truth is they don't give 2 shits about the veterans. They only like the veterans that are Republican. The veterans that aren't Republican, they want, I mean, I couldn't tell you all these dumbasses that go and they start these pages and shit and try to say things. I know the names of half these friggin' assholes that try to, you know, post this stuff. Richard Ojeda's never been anywhere or saw anything. You can look at my pictures. I lived outside the friggin' wire. Yeah. You know,
listen, there's a lot of people in this country who have never been out of the damn town that they were born in, and that's part of the problem. Nobody sees outside of themselves, you know, and it's important. It's so important that people experience life outside of your life because it's a huge world.
You are so right. You know, travel absolutely does so much. You know, I saw something the other day and it said, basically, if you look at your life as a book, if you don't travel, all you do is stay on the same page.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly right.
So right. You know, I know. You know, I took 54 days and went to Europe this summer and that just went everywhere.
That was amazing. I followed you all through Europe. I had a blast. I was eating food. I was seeing stuff.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I tell you, I wore myself out, but I will tell you, 54 days. I went to 24 different stops. All in all, it was like 20 countries. You know, and we did 2 to 3 days per place. And I'm going to tell you, we never slowed up. And
No.
by the time it was done, I'm telling you, I come home, I needed to sleep for a solid week.
Now, I know that you're a big fan of Rick Steves, because I could tell by the way you travel Europe. That is my man. I have been watching him for like 30 years. I know how to travel.
Yeah, and you know, I'm telling you, and you know, like I've commented on his YouTubes just hoping he would respond. You know, like I mean, you know, like a lot of people, they have like football players are their heroes and shit like that. Rick Steves is one of mine, man. You know, the guy goes everywhere, man. He goes everywhere, and you know, honestly, when I went, you know, I had a guy with me that was filming everything, and I was really hoping that we could put together, you know, a couple nice episodes. And we're still looking at the editor that I have when we get some time to go through that stuff and see if we can put at least one good video together, where even if it's just all the locations in one video, just so we can post something. But I'm going to tell you, I had a blast. I don't recommend traveling the way I travel, where I go and just, you know, every 3 days. I would say if you're going to go to Europe, pick 1 or 2 cities and spend like 5 to 7 days in each one of them. You'll be able to see everything and have a blast. But now I saw a lot because we didn't slow down. We were up at the crack of dawn, and we went until, you know, it was at night.
I know.
I mean,
listen, me and my husband ran around Europe a few times with our backpacks.
Yep. I lost 4 belt loop sizes, and you know. But I'll tell you, you know, there's a lot of things when you're traveling. You know, don't weigh yourself down. You know, don't weigh yourself down, because
don't carry more than you would normally carry. You know, like if you were just going to go overnight. Fit it in that size bag.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me. I'm in a camper right now. So,
I can hear you perfectly well, honey. Okay, how about Jatland? Mage sound good out there? Can you hear him all right? Let's get a thumb up. Ireland is lovely. It's one of the places that I need to go.
I drank my first pint of Guinness in downtown Dublin, and it was
what an experience.
That alone is an experience. And then I went through the Guinness factory, and when you go through the Guinness factory, the last stop is on the top floor, which is a complete glass floor, and you can sit up there and they give you a free pint of Guinness. And you get to drink another pint of Guinness up there. So,
buddy.
Ireland is no joke. Ireland is a must for everybody.
Mm-hmm. That's like on my bucket list. I haven't been there, and it's one of the places I really want to go. But
if you only go to one, go to
like
Ireland.
You, Richard, I want to see everything. I want to see it all. I want to eat it all. I want to drink it all.
Yeah,
I just want to do it all. You know?
And I will tell you, Brussels was next level. When it came to food and drink, Brussels was absolutely head and shoulders above everybody else. The chocolate, the waffles, the French fries, the mussels. I mean,
mussels from Brussels.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. They gave like an entire pot of mussels. Yeah, it was amazing. It was so good,
dude. I'm telling you, I will live vicariously through you until I can get out there with my own damn backpack.
Well, I'll tell you, I got a lot of really good pictures, and I tell people all the time, if you're going to Europe and you really want to enjoy yourself and you don't want to get caught up in crazy crowds and long lines, go to the Balkans, because I will tell you, Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Belgrade, and Macedonia were so amazing,
gorgeous, and
it was just the people, the sights. I mean, it's amazing, and it's not really big crowds or anything like that. You know, when we got to Ljubljana, was my first place. Ljubljana, Slovenia was the first place in the Balkans, and there was no crowds. And Ljubljana it's got a castle on the hill. It's got every wagons on the bridges. It's got, you know, cathedrals. I mean, it's beautiful, but it had such a cool vibe about it. And that's how it was all through the Balkans. You know,
Yeah.
Bosnia, you look around in Bosnia and you got holes in the walls from machine gun fire and things like that. But I mean, the people are just really cool. The food was amazing.
Oh.
Worth
You were
going.
making my mouth water from, over here on the old,
Oh,
on
absolutely.
the other end of
Absolutely.
Instagram.
Yeah. Look, I'm telling you, the foods that we were eating, and make no mistake about it, Brussels was the best, but I'm telling you, the food was great all over, everywhere.
Europe is amazing. Listen, most of the people in America are from Europe, whether
Yeah.
you know it or not.
Yep.
So it's like,
Right.
it's almost like, for me, it's almost like food memory. It's like I can taste stuff and I'm like, maybe in another life I've eaten these.
Well, now, was you ever stationed in Europe?
No. But my family fled Nazi Germany. See,
Wow.
so I've not been here. My family's only a couple generations in this country. My grandmother came here as a child. So,
well, I was lucky because I got stationed in Germany. My first duty assignment was in Hanau, Germany for 2 years. And, I was 19, 20, and 21. And, I was
full of
young
piss and vinegar.
full of, and like the weekends, I mean, let me tell you something. As far as the beer, Germany was amazing. And I wasn't really a big drinker, but I did like the beer in Germany. And every weekend we got pretty messed up. But I tell you, it was awesome. I wish I would have taken more time to do more traveling. And I did some traveling when I was over there because the military, the military, our whole entire unit took 7 days and went to Calella, Spain for 7 days.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I went to Berchtesgaden and I skied on the Alps and went to Salzburg while I was stationed in Germany. I could have went to a lot more, but I was too stupid and laid drunk all the damn time.
Yeah,
but
well, listen, when you go to boot camp, you are so homesick. You are so sick and tired. You are so tired. You're not hungry. That's the only thing you're not is hungry in boot camp.
Yeah.
But everything else. And so, that's what them young boys and young women sometimes will turn to is the alcohol. And I think that, we ought to start screaming more about the dangers of alcohol, because as far as I'm concerned, alcohol is a great antiseptic.
Well, I think the military is starting to really crack down on that. And they try,
They
and
have
they really
to.
do it. If you really want to get involved, the military has a lot of things for the soldiers to do on 4-day weekends, especially if you're stationed overseas. 4-day weekends, the military has all kinds of programs for free to take you to other countries and see some cool shit. But when I was in Germany, I was dumb, and drinking was, it was 21 years of age in America, but then in Germany, they didn't have
There is no age limit.
Yeah,
there is no age. Yeah.
So here we are, and they had just made it, like they had just made it 21 in our country. And I went to Germany and was like, I don't give a shit because there's no curfew. I mean, we bought beer over there, right there from the AFI store. Nobody
and they make
carded
some
us.
good beer.
Oh,
they
yeah,
make good
man.
beer
Oh,
in
yeah.
Germany. That shit is like 12%, knock you on your ass.
Yeah, you get that shit from the monasteries, and you ain't gonna finish a beer.
No. It's like drinking a half a bottle of something.
Yeah, people don't even know that shit, man. I mean,
No, they don't.
When I come out of Afghanistan, we went from Afghanistan to Kyrgyzstan, and in Kyrgyzstan, you had to basically stay like 3 days. You had to go through customs before you flew back to America. But when you got to Kyrgyzstan, they gave you 2 beers. Every night that you were there, you could get 2 beers. So when I went to the bar, they had the beers. Now they had Budweiser, but then they had this Russian beer. The Budweiser was 2.1%, The Russian beer was 9.9%.
Yeah.
So 2 Russian beers was like drinking like almost a 12-pack. So
lay you right out.
Yeah, I just remember taking my 2 beers and drinking them, and hell, I was a major. I drank my 2 beers and I friggin' stumbled over to the damn not barracks, but the tent, and I don't even remember enjoying the beer. I just laid down and fell asleep. That was it.
Yeah, man.
Woke up the next morning.
You got to know what you're putting in your body. You've learned that now, though. Now I know you learned that lesson now.
Yeah, I don't drink no Russian beer. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, that's probably just as bad as fucking bathtub vodka.
Oh gosh, rough
those
stuff.
poor bastards
Rough
making their
stuff.
own vodka.
That's some back in the day shit right there.
Yeah. And speaking back in the day, have you ever seen any of the videos of the things that Russians used to burn the Beatles albums on? They burnt them on everything because the Beatles were illegal in Russia. They weren't
really
allowed. Yeah. So the Russians were so slick, and they managed to bootleg the hell out of the Beatles.
Wow, I wonder why they were not liked by Russia.
They weren't liked by the government. They didn't want to drive their young girls wild.
Oh, okay. Well, plus I could see them, a lot of their songs that, especially Russia. Now I would tell you this: if you ever get the opportunity to go to Prague, Czech Republic. Love that place. I've been there twice. It's a wonderful city, but there is a place called the John Lennon Wall. You can know where it's at. You got to find it. It's not easy. But I tell you, the first time I went to the John Lennon Wall, I was standing there with my buddy, and there's probably 30 people there, and everybody was, you can sign in the wall. And I just remember all of a sudden everybody in the crowd broke out with Imagine, started singing Imagine. It was so cool.
You had to get goosebumps 3 feet off your arm with that shit going on.
Yeah, it was definitely wild.
Definitely.
So what kind of questions you got?
All right, I just threw together a few questions that I've been mulling over the past few months of watching you, and absolutely just being in awe of your energy and your passion and your drive for what's right.
Thank you.
It's so simple. Life is simple, and we've overcomplicated it so much. And I find that simplicity in you.
Well, thank you.
And it makes my life a better place for sure.
Cool.
And I play you to a number 11 for my neighbors.
Nice.
Sometimes I want to say, can you yell a little loud, Richard? They can't hear you the next block over. Damn it. I wish they would. All right. Here's my questions that I have for you, sir. I don't have them in any particular order, but I'll start with, how has cannabis helped you, and what specifically do you use it for, and have you ever used edibles?
Okay, I love edibles. Whenever I go to California, they're called Chiba Chews. Whenever
you haven't tried some of Benniloco's Nerd Ropes, Major?
Nope, I haven't.
These are our own mom and pop business here in California. Let me tell you something.
I absolutely love edibles, and every time I go to California, I got to get me some Chiba Chews. But
that was my first edible when I came to California, and I was able to buy something legal. That was my first edible, and I swore by them. Nice. And then they changed the rules to where they had to make them 10 milligrams, so I could no longer get my 1,000 milligram Chiba Chew, and that's what I would eat, 1,000 milligram.
Wow.
Yeah,
well,
I know.
I tell you. To me, really big for the sleep, to help you sleep. And at the end of the day, that's what I would rather. I would rather them give me cannabis than give me these sleeping meds.
Yes, absolutely. I threw away 14 prescription medications for cannabis. Okay.
Wow.
They had me on Depakote, they had me on Tegretol, they had had me on Seroquel. They had me on what's that fucking thing? Hydrocodone. They had me on Xanax. They had me on Valium. I mean, and the list went on and on and on. Wow. And I'm like, over 10 years, they had me taking a pile of pills, and I was not getting any better. I was getting worse. That's
a problem, is medicating, the issue instead of fixing the issue.
Right, exactly. Listen, if I'm going to medicate the problem, I don't want a pill to do it. I want my cannabis.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but cannabis doesn't attack your organs, and these pills do. And it's already been proven to do that.
Yes, that was one of my big wake-up calls, was the fatty liver test. My doctor told me I had the liver of an alcoholic. And I was like, are you kidding me? I don't even drink. He says, this is what the medications are doing.
Yeah, understand you and I, European beer. When I'm over in Europe, I'll drink beer. When I'm home, I don't drink. I will go 6 months and not even touch a drop of beer. Yeah, I just
it's a social thing, For you and I, we don't need a drink, and some people think they do.
So when you get told that your liver, and you're sitting here thinking that, you mean to tell me by the time I'm 70, I'm going to have a liver transplant, and I don't even friggin' drink? It's bullshit.
Exactly. It's ludicrous. They're compounding the problems, and they're making them worse. Yeah. And telling you all the while, we're fixing you.
Yeah, and they're not.
No, you're not fixing us. You're making it worse. We have been through the gauntlet. We know what our bodies do. We're our best physicians. We know how we feel. We know what works well for us. Shouldn't we be able to make that decision on using a plant over pharmaceuticals?
Yep.
We should have that right. Now, my second question is, who do we put the pressure on in government to get this freaking bill signed that we were promised with this last election?
That what?
That we were promised with the last election. The decriminalization of cannabis.
Yeah, well, you got to vote.
Whose toes do we got to step on, Richard?
Look, at the end of the day, everybody, you have a lot of females out there that are calling it Rovember, which is great.
Yeah.
But, everybody out there that believes in cannabis, you need to call this the marijuana midterms. Because if we can flip the day, if we can keep the house, look, we know that we're going to pick up seats in the Senate. But if we don't lose the House, we are going to make cannabis legalized on the federal level, and it's going to happen very, very quickly. That's already something that's done. But the thing is
my hope.
Yeah, but we can't lose the House. If we lose the House, we're not. If we lose the House, the only thing that we're going to see for the next 2 years is they are going to impeach Joe Biden once a month.
Yank everything they can away.
They're going to impeach him once a month. And it's not going to go anywhere because we're going to have the Senate. But that's all that's going to happen. They're going to say, "Oh, you think Donald Trump got impeached twice? They're going to make Joe Biden. He's going to get impeached 20 times."
And all of
it's all going to be bullshit.
And all of this shit is just fucking neener bullshit. Neener.
Yeah.
And I
These
can't
are the most
fucking stand it.
Yeah, they're the most childish pieces of shit on the planet.
They are, and it's time that we put some responsible adults in. The powers that be that work for us to work for us and not against us, because I am frankly tired of cleaning up every time after we have a Republican administration and trying to get back the things that they take away every time they're in. I've been watching it for 40 years of them taking away and not, schools from everything. Now we no longer have any trade school classes, none. They took every freaking one of them out. All they have now is football. If you're lucky, you got basketball.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame.
But they don't give a shit, because the truth is, the way they look at it is poorly educated people vote Republican, and that's just the way it is.
It's true. It's true, because they don't pay attention to what's going on.
They don't, and
it's imperative. It's imperative. If we want to be happy You have to vote for the people who are going to give you those things that make you happy,
Well,
make you whole.
You learn in the military. You learn in the military what leadership is, and you know what a do as I say, not as I do type of person is. And right now, that's all you see in the Republican Party.
Yep.
Do as I say, not as I do.
That's right. And it's absurd. It's absurd. All right. So the major says, everybody, listen up. Write your congressmen, write your senators. Until we get this passed, we have to keep the pressure on them about passing it. It was promised, and now it needs to be passed. So let's not let them forget by just sitting back and, resting on your laurels.
Yeah, let me tell you the reason why I was able to be successful in making West Virginia the 29th state for medical cannabis is because I got the people behind me. None of the legislators wanted to even touch this. I had to embarrass the Health and Human Resources Committee chairman on the floor to get him to even run the bill. And by that time, I had already got the people behind me. They were literally shutting the phone lines down because the phones were going nonstop with people saying, we want cannabis, we want cannabis. Finally, when the people got behind it, the Republicans looked at me and said, there's nothing we can do. We're going to have to do it.
We're going to have to do it. Exactly. And that's what we need to do. Put the fucking pressure on them. Put the hammer down. Make yourself heard. That's how it happens. You make yourself heard. And it has to happen. Listen, guys, there are veterans out there right now who are hanging on the edge of sanity and life itself because they are damaged, and they're damaged because they went and fought for us so that we could have freedoms, so that we can sit here and be comfortable and have the life that, and freedoms that America promises to everybody. Now, it's time for us to step up for our veterans and ourselves, our brothers, our sisters, all of us who absolutely know the benefits of this plant, have studied it, have seen the science, have been through all of it, and we're ready. If we can have alcohol, then we're goddamn old enough to have cannabis.
Yeah, and understand this. I was so blind in this. I spent 24 years in the military, and in the military, marijuana is the worst thing in the world because you fail a piss test. You fail a piss test, you're done. So when I got out of the military, and I ended up, I was almost murdered. That I ended up becoming a senator. The second day of my time as a senator, I'm actually, and this is no shit, and I'm not ashamed of it. I was literally sitting in my office thinking, how the fuck do you Senate? What do you do? How do you do this job? I ran because a bunch of crooked bastards, and I'm like, fuck them, I'm going to go after the rest. And I ended up winning. But then I'm like, what am I going to do? And all of a sudden, this guy with dreadlocks and a tattoo on his face sticks his head in my door and says, Senator Ojeda, would you mind having a conversation about cannabis? And I thought to myself, who the fuck is this guy? But I said, come on, have a seat. Well, he sit down, and I'm like thinking to myself, just listen to him for a few minutes, and then act like you're getting a phone call or something. And he started talking about the illnesses that cannabis can address, and he said PTSD, and I was like, whoa. I know you rattled off about 20 other things, but what do you mean PTSD? And that's when we had that conversation. I was like, holy shit, and
an aha moment.
It was. And, we started talking about how, and it makes sense, why was cannabis vilified? Cannabis was vilified because of the paper. The paper industry couldn't keep up with hemp, and the alcohol industry couldn't keep up with marijuana. So they absolutely vilified it. And it's really easy when you think about that, and you start to go, that makes sense.
And Big Pharma had their hand in that pie, too. The American Medical Association also poo-pooed cannabis really big time.
Yeah, when I walked to the Health and Human Resources Committee chairman on the Senate floor, and I said, why are you not running my bill? his answer to me was, Big Pharma don't like it. And that's when I said, oh, so I guess you're in the pocket of Big Pharma. And then I walked over and I grabbed the microphone. And in the West Virginia legislature, in the state Senate, when you grab the microphone, all cameras zoom in on you. And then I just fucking started laying into all of them about cannabis. And that was it, man. I mean, I just started blowing up.
You know what? You and I have a very similar type of passion, Mr. Ojeda.
Well, you know,
Major.
we've both got skin in the game. I mean, that's just how
we do. We got, listen, my first husband died from cancer caused by Agent Orange. Okay.
Yeah.
My mother's brother, my uncle, died from Agent Orange caused cancer. And I got a lot of flesh in this game.
Yeah, and understand that, you know, like I've had over 30 cysts removed from my body. You know, I have nobody in my family's ever had cancer, and I got 30 cysts removed already. And you know, it's got to be because, I mean, we've breathed in burning bodies. We've been around burn pits. You know, we've had to burn shit and the stuff that we've ate and stuff. I mean, our bodies are a wreck because of this shit.
Yeah, I hear you. And it's high time that truth of the day.
Yeah, damn straight.
And honor and integrity and morals and good character come back into style.
Yeah.
Because we're lacking those things and we need them desperately in order to survive as a species.
Absolutely.
To care for one another in the way we're supposed to. You know, it's easy. The rules are easy.
Couldn't say it. I couldn't say it better. You're right. You're spot on.
The rules are easy. Okay. What advice would you give to vets who are wanting to try cannabis as an alternate medication? You know, you would just totally tell them.
Try it. I mean, I'm telling you. You know,
now,
here's the thing. You know, don't go crazy on it. Take it lightly. You know,
microdose.
I will never forget. The time I was talked into taking a puff and a puff and a puff and a puff and a puff, and I'm telling you, I took 3 steps and basically I was done for the entire day.
You greened out, did you?
Yeah. I was not ready for that.
That's adorable.
It's like if you get an edible, eat half.
Yes.
Eat half.
Hey, listen, when you come to California, which is where I am, we have an edible gift basket waiting for you. So one way or another, I'm over here in the desert. You're going to be like 2 hours from me.
Yeah, I'm going to be in LA.
Mm-hmm. So I might have to take a trip to LA.
Hey, that'd be awesome. I'm telling you.
That'd be awesome as hell. We'll talk about that later, but I totally want to get that to you so that you get some of that California love from Benniloco in you.
Yeah, I love the edibles.
Okay, so as far as the vets go, if they try it, would their doctor bust their ass about them trying it? That's my concern.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you here in a couple of days because I got to go see my doctor and my last. You know, I know they told me that I have cannabis in my system. I don't care.
Well, you could.
If I'm in California, California, I can do cannabis. If there are states, you know, when I go to West Virginia, I get the 8 THC vapes, and those are good. You know,
yes,
I mean,
they are.
It is what it is. I'm an adult.
Yes,
and it is what it is.
Somebody was messing with my stuff hot, and so I don't know what happened, but I still got to fix things. It's okay. It happens. In YouTube, that shit happens, and I will fix it after tonight's show. Thank you for pointing it out to me. Okay. You answered that straight off the bat on how you fix them over there in West Virginia. Straight out the gate. Now, I want to save this for the last question. This is not the last question. I want to save the one I just read for the last question. You know how our brain injuries work, us, Richard?
Yeah.
You try to read something off the paper, sometimes it's like, where did it go?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you done any research on RSO, also known as Rick Simpson oil?
Have I ever tried oil?
No. Have you ever researched RSO?
No, I haven't.
Also known as Rick Simpson oil. Okay. This is the full spectrum of cannabis extraction. And word on the street has it, it kills cancer cells. It eats them right out.
Look, that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. I mean, let me tell you something. There's a reason why Big Pharma doesn't like it, because Big Pharma don't make money in cures. That's how
right.
it is.
There's no money in the cure.
Yeah, heroin is a horrible thing, but make no mistake about it, the government will give you their heroin, which is what is it called?
Oxycontin or fentanyl.
No. What is it when a person is a heroin addict and they go into a program?
Methadone.
What is it, baby?
Methadone.
Methadone.
Yes,
Methadone is just the government's heroin.
That's it.
Let me tell you something. I remember when I was a young company commander, one morning at 6:30, I watched a soldier walk into a wall, and I'm like, what the fuck is up with that guy? And it turns out he was on that. The military put him on that.
Oh my God, that's
crazy.
Horrible. Damn. You are getting a whole bunch of love up in the chat, Richard. I don't know if you could see it or not, but everybody is absolutely enjoying it.
I can't see it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's why I'm passing it on to you, brother. Passing on the love.
Everyone.
Pass it on to you. I was telling my husband before we went live about you coming home and not being able to find your wife, and you thought she tipped over the pond.
Oh man, that scared me. I mean, we got a big pond. We got a 3-acre pond, but I had never seen her take her boat to the far side and I thought I could see all the way across. I couldn't. She was in a little cove. I mean, I'm standing out there ready to jump in and just start swimming.
I know.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I couldn't see her. I couldn't
when you
see
were
her.
telling this.
Well, I couldn't
I'm
see
sorry.
her boat. I couldn't see her boat, but I also couldn't see where she parks it. It wasn't there. So I'm like, if I can't see her not parked there, I know my wife didn't drag that thing out of the water. She must have went down. So, I'm scared to death. I'm literally ready to jump in and just start swimming around, trying to see if I can't feel her with my feet.
Yeah. When you were telling this story, I was over here laughing so hard. Now, I was like, because the way you tell it, I'm picturing in my head. You're going.
I was scared. I was legitimately scared. I thought my wife done drowned on me, man. Look. I've been with my wife now for 30 years, man. I'm gonna tell you, I don't want to be without her. I don't think I can survive. So.
No, it's hard. It's hard when you don't have your other half with you.
Yeah, I don't think I want to get to that.
I'm gonna tell you, she is tough as nails, and she's a country girl, and she got this shit, Richard. Don't you worry.
Oh, I know she is. She puts up with my ass, so she's gotta be tough.
I'll tell you, that's it. That's the ultimate test. She survived 30 years with you.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you another thing too. My wife, I don't think I've ever met anybody in my life that can outfish her. So, ooh. I mean, yeah, my wife can catch a marlin in a mud hole. No joke.
Has she ever been noodling?
No, she's never noodled.
That would be a video, Richard.
Oh yeah. No. No. I will not let her. There's no way. I'm not.
I thought about it a couple of times.
Look. People like me from West Virginia, we always get made fun of for being a bunch of friggin' hillbillies and shit. I'm not allowing my wife to get that hillbilly. I ain't gonna let it happen. Cause then they're all right. That means they're telling the truth.
That's a hillbilly too far.
That's it.
I had to ask because I know how much she loves fishing, so I had to ask that for sure. Okay, my final question, Mr. Richard Ojeda, Mr. Major Richard Ojeda. You have so many titles, I don't know what to call you.
You can call me OJ.
OJ. All right. I like that. I like that, OJ. My final question is, do you think for one hot second that you might run for office in North Carolina? Because I know there's a lot of people there who would get right behind you immediately.
Well, here's the thing. You know, one of the reasons why I left West Virginia is, number one, I lost a congressional race that I shouldn't have lost, but I lost it because Donald Trump come to West Virginia in the last month and campaigned against me for a woman who did not campaign, and all she said was, "I'll do whatever Trump wants." That right there was a tough pill to swallow. I decided that I was going to run for Senate, and the very unions that I fought the hardest for, the United Mine Workers of America, the AFL-CIO, they all turned against me because they crawled in bed with Shelley Moore Capito.
Yeah, Shelley Moore Capito.
Shelley Moore Capito had a person that she wanted to face in the general, and she didn't want to face me because they know I'm ruthless. I tell people it's like a combat deployment. You get off the plane, you go nonstop till it's time to get your ass back on the plane. So they didn't want me, but for them groups to turn their back on me, for the teachers unions, remember, it was my speech that started the teacher strike in 2018. You know, for the teachers to turn their backs on me and the unions, that was a bridge too far. So I'm like, I'm done. Look, I'm not against running for office, but I'm never going to stick my neck out there unless I know I'm going to get support. So, the party's got to reach out to me and say, hey, look, you know, this guy's an asshole. He's a crook. We think you could be a better representative in Washington, D.C., and we'll support you. That's a different story. But I'm not just going to stick my hat in the ring and get my damn neck cut off because of corruption.
Yeah, no, and that's why I had to ask you this question, because of how much trauma simply running for office caused you the first time. It almost got you killed. They almost murdered you. Now, the reason being is because they don't want what's right, and you do, and that's just the simplicity of it. And what's right is what's right for everybody, not just right.
But remember this. At the end of the day, you know, you have to decide what you want to live in, and you know, you can hold your nose and just hope it doesn't affect you, or you can just hope that it's only going to be for a couple years. Or you could friggin' get involved and get in the fight. Look, like I said, I'm in the fight. I'm in the fight every day. As a national spokesman, I'm getting ready to take off, and I'm going to be I'm speaking in West Virginia. Then I'm flying to Washington, D.C. Then I'm flying to Miami. Then I'm heading out to Los Angeles. Look, I'm doing these things. I'm doing these events. I'm setting up events for Captain Kelly, trying to set events up for Dr. Reverend Warnock, for Tim Ryan, for Val Demings, for John Fetterman. I'm trying my best to help these people. Marcus Flowers, these are our guys. We're out here working and trying our best to help these people flip these seats. So make no mistake about it, I don't have to run for office. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm always going to be involved in politics. But if the party in North Carolina thinks that a person like me would be a good representative for them, then they have to come to me. Because look, I'm not going to do this and get stabbed in the back. I need people to look at me and tell me, look, here's the deal. We're going to support you. We're going to get the unions to back you. We're going to get the funding to back you, because that's important. You know, I'm not going to sit nickel and dime my family and friends when the damn biggest companies want to be stingy. Ain't going to happen.
Right. Now that's the thing. We haven't kicked back. We haven't scratched back. We haven't clawed back. We have given very little resistance in the last 40 years as to what's been happening.
Yep.
And now it's time that people are aware, because our very democracy is at stake. I didn't come into this country on the soul of my grandparents who fled Nazi Germany to be in the same place that they were, you know, trying to get their future family away from.
Yeah, you know, half my family, one side of my family swam across the Rio Grande, and the other side come through Ellis Island. You know, and you know, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you know, it's worth fighting for.
at the end of the day, OJ, we are all immigrants in this land.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have disrespected it and have just been horrible. And it's time, and it's high time that people wake up and get with the program, realize what's going on, do your research, check out everything you can on the things that concern you, on the things that interest you, on the things that you know need change. Do a little research. A little research yields a great deal of knowledge.
Yep, absolutely.
Don't fall down rabbit holes. Don't listen to somebody who's just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Trust but verify your information.
You're
always.
Right. Spot on.
Always. Major, I absolutely can tell you this with my husband in the room because he knows how I feel about you. I adore you, sir.
Well,
and I am with you 100%. I want you to know if you need anything, you can reach out to me.
Hey, Benny,
I'm available to you.
I appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate all that you do, how you've helped me and John. You know, I appreciate that. You know, you are in this fight. And you know, let's keep at. There you go, man. It's the thing. People don't understand. Never let the blade go dull.
That's right.
Never let it go dull. Ever.
Never let it go dull.
I'm with you. All right. Well, I appreciate you, Benny.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you for staying up late and coming on over and letting us know what time it is in the cannabis world.
Everyone.
We do love you, Major, and oh my God, keep on keeping on, and know you have an army behind you.
Well, you got to bring me back.
You coming back? I'll have you back anytime you're ready, Major.
All right, that sounds good. You take it easy, Benny. All right, you tell your husband I said, hey, airborne.
Oh, well, sir. Have a good night.
You too.
That's amazing. Amazing. Oh my gosh, what a great interview. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Major. I appreciate you. And I got a giant super chat over here from Laura. Thank you, honey. I didn't want to interrupt the Major. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Oh, but it was an amazing, amazing show. And I'm so ready for a dab. Has anybody got a dab or a little bit of joint they want to smoke on? I've been hitting on this little vape pen for the show so that I wouldn't interfere with the nature. But I gotta it's not a dab, I can tell you. It's nice, but it's not a dab. So it's dab at 5:30. That's a I know. I love this guy too, Lana. Oh my God. Listen, these are what our heroes look like. These are what our real heroes look like. Our real heroes. And I'm fighting for the Major, and the Major's fighting for us. So we all got to fight for each other. I know. And it's wonderful. The Major said he'll come back, and that would be so super cool. I love spending time with the Major. He live streams every day. I'm pretty sure we dropped this link a couple of times. I'll drop it again. I want y'all to go subscribe to the Major because he's an American hero who deserves our support no matter where we can support him. Thank you, Andrea, for dropping his link throughout the stream here. I know you have all this information on hand. Promod, exactly. Martha, too. Yeah. No means grandfather in Italian. I don't know. That's it. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for supporting Benniloco because Benniloco is out there trying to support y'all. I mean, it's a good job, and I don't mind doing it at all, one bit. And I know that the rewards will be worth it. In the end, the rewards will be worth it. It's better to be a good person than to be an asshole. It's better to care than to not. And it's much better to smoke cannabis than anything else. Simply put.